Alright guys, so I'm gonna show you guys how I edit photos in Capture One. A lot of people are used to using Lightroom, but if you have a Sony camera, you can get the full version of Capture One for only $50. So I started using it and I like it a lot. So I'm gonna show you guys how I would go about editing a photo in Capture One. Um, and I guess the first thing is like even this doesn't look like it needs much editing. Like it's very good out of the camera. As you can see, there's been no adjustments yet. And I guess that's the most important thing of editing, right? Get it as good as possible before you have to edit. But of course, I'm gonna edit something. So so yeah, the first thing I would start with is exposure. For me, the exposure looks pretty good. I could bring it up slightly and then bring down the highlights by increasing this dynamic range slider on the highlight section. And then when I increase the dynamic range on the shadow section, you see that a lot of those shadows come up as well. So I'll just play with those two usually until I have it to a point where it looks right. So I'm gonna take it up like to an extreme setting. I wouldn't actually have it that bright, but you just want to see exactly what it's doing. I think that's pretty good. Maybe even a little bit darker. Yeah, because I also do a fade, so I sometimes don't need to bring it all the way up because the next thing I'll do is I'll do a little tone curve where I like do a fade by bringing up the blacks and it'll get a little faded and then I'll do a little curve so it doesn't affect the entire image. Yeah, and already it's looking pretty good. Then some, depending on what I'm doing, I'll increase or decrease the clarity. So like I can decrease the clarity a little bit to smooth out the skin look. Like if I take it all the way down, it's very like hazy kind of look. So I could do that and then bring the structure up, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but I do that sometimes. Yeah, I think I need to bring this up a little bit more. Um, yeah, then at that point, I would, because I don't think I need to mess with any of this other stuff. You would go through all this exposure stuff in my workflow pretty much first. Then I'll come to the sharpening. Now, you could do this last. This one is like, questionable, like whether or not you should do it at the time that I do it. But like, just bump the threshold and the sharpening up a little bit till it's pretty good. And when I zoom in to the eye, yeah, it's pretty pretty in focus, this front eye. Um, yeah, then the next thing I would do once I got the sharpening on is go to the three-way color corrector, and this is probably like the last thing that I'll do. I mean, there's other like subtle tweaks you can do, but like I don't heavily edit my photos like that much. Like I just do adjustments like this, try and get it pretty good in camera and then adjust like this. So for the shadows in this one, gonna go for blue. It already has like that bluey kind of thing, so I'm gonna go, it's like a bluish purple. And then what I would do is I would play with exactly, where the color is. I like this like purplish bluey thing. And then you play with the intensity. This one here is the intensity. You see she turns like really purple. Yeah. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's as much as I want to do. But you could do different things with the highlights. We could make like the highlights even more orange or make them very blue. I don't really need to make or want to make any of those adjustments. I think how it is here is pretty good. So the main components of my look really, because the tone, like I think of this as like split toning in Lightroom. That's, whatever you prefer. This right here is for editing specific color ranges, but I'm not gonna do that for this photo. Um, yeah, and then just this stuff, adding a little bit of a fade, getting the exposure how you want it, like really pushing the highlights down or the shadows up, different things like that can make a big difference. And then at this point, I would say this is like, yeah, done in the edit. Yeah, so here is the original, and here next to it is the edit. So, as you can see, I made some minor changes, brought the highlights down a little bit, brought the shadows way up thanks to the dynamic range of my camera, added my little fade, adjusted the colors a bit, and came up with this. I think this looks pretty cool. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I'll probably do another one where maybe I'll go outdoors and do something a little bit more normal, maybe bring a reflector or something so I can still do something a little bit cool. And yeah, get like more of a regular edit. This is kind of more of an extreme, like very colorful thing, but the principles always apply. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Yeah, that's all. The music playing in the background right now is probably mine. So, just check out all my links in the description. All right, peace.